Hello everyone, let's get right into the interesting event that continued to unfold in Crimea. Specifically, last night there were explosions near Sevastopol. Once again, the occupying authorities report that, as usual, the air defense systems are operational and all aerial targets have been down. However, we are waiting for confirmation. There may be new hits, but late in the evening there were reports of explosions in the area of the occupied city of Jankoy. Crimea's airfields raised nearly all of their aircraft in response to the alarm. In Jankoy, helicopters were also deployed. We are waiting details on this matter. So, the Crimean bridge is once again closed and traffic has been halted. It seems that they are very concerned about the bridge because it won't be around much longer. Additionally, there was another drone attack on Russian territory yesterday. Initially, there was a strike on a diesel plant in the Bryansk region, and later in the evening, the air defense systems in the Kursk region were active. So there is no information available regarding the outcome of these attacks at the time of creating this update. Moreover, around 10 o'clock in the evening, the Russians began launching unmanned aerial vehicles from the territory of Crimea, and drones were also detected over the Sumy region, likely launched from Russian territory. Okay, but before we move on to the Frontline update, I kindly request that you share this video on social media and watch it until the end, as it will greatly help promote my channel. Thank you. On the front lines, the situation remains tense, but despite all the challenges, the Ukrainian forces are making progress. Let's start with Zaporizhia direction, where a counteroffensive is underway with maximum activity. All eyes are on this direction. Yesterday, there was an expansion of the gray zone by 200 meters in the area near Verbove. We now know for sure that the Ukrainian forces have reached Verbove, although the occupiers are attempting to shell our units. There have also been reports of the Ukrainian forces initiating offensive action there. However, there have been no new successes yet. In the area of Novoprokopivka, there have been no new advances reported either, though the occupiers have failed in all the attacks on the flanks, and so far there have been no new offensive actions. Only sporadic shelling continues in the Robotyne area. In the Vuhledar direction, the advance of the Ukrainian forces have temporarily halted, and there is currently only an exchange of artillery fire, so there have been no changes along the front line in the past day. In the Kherson direction, so the occupiers continue to intensively shell the entire front line. Late yesterday evening, explosions were reported in Mykolaiv, and it was previously reported that in Kherson, as a result of shelling, 2 people were injured and 3 died. However, the Ukrainian forces are also not leaving the Russians in peace, and yesterday something was on fire on the left bank in the area of Malakhovka. Additionally, there is a video circulating online showing tests of a new Ukrainian underwater drone called Marichka. It looks like we can expect some interesting news soon. Okay, in the Bakhmut direction, the Ukrainian forces are making advances toward the positions held by the Russians near the railway, Klishchiivka and Andreevka. However, there have been no reported successes so far. Occupying forces are attempting counterattacks and intensively shelling the Ukrainian positions. On the northern flank, the situation has stabilized for now, and there have been no reports of new attacks, so the front line remains unchanged, although periodic shelling continues. In the Avdiivka direction, the occupiers are attempting to break through to the outskirts of Avdiivka, but so far they have had no success. There is a significant concentration of Russian troops here, including tank units. This suggests that more serious attacks and attempts to regain positions around Severne may be expected in the near future. Notably, the presence of units like Storm Z, composed of former prisoners and similar to the Wagner private military company, raises the possibility of them trying to encircle Avdiivka and capture the city. Therefore, we are closely monitoring developments in this area. In Marinka, where fighting has been ongoing, the occupiers have been launching ineffective attacks. Ukrainian forces are in a defensive posture, resulting in fewer losses compared to the advancing occupiers. Despite suffering losses, the occupiers continue their attacks, with over 10 attacks being recorded almost daily, none of which have been successful. In the Lugansk direction, the situation remains largely unchanged. The Kupiansk and Svatovo directions, as well as the areas of Crimea and Siversk, remain stable. Although there are occasional shelling incidents, no major attacks have been launched. There is a concentration of approximately 100,000 Russian troops in this region, and it remains to be seen whether they will launch offensive actions or redeploy forces to different directions for defensive purpose. So we are waiting to see what decision they will make. And now let's move on to some good news. Abrams tanks are already in Ukraine. The first batch of Abrams tanks was delivered to Ukraine on Saturday, as reported by the New York Times, citing two representatives of the US Department of Defense. The publication stated that, according to official sources, the first batch of tanks arrived several months ahead of the planned schedule and was promptly used in Ukraine's counteroffensive against Russia. In the coming months, even more M1 Abrams tanks will be sent, said the officials, noting that the tanks sent to Ukraine on Saturday are the first of the 31 tanks promised by Biden administration. Officials didn't specify how many have already been delivered. Additionally, I'd like to touch on the topic of Ukrainian grain exports. President Zelensky made an important statement regarding this matter.
I also held a meeting with government officials and the Office on our grain exports. We coordinated further steps and noted the results achieved. First, the European Commission endorsed the roadmap for mutual monitoring of grain exports. This is completely rational. Second, we are gradually removing emotions from this topic on most issues. Work with our neighbors can and should become fully constructive, and Ukraine is doing everything for this. Third, I am grateful to those of our partners who have prevented violations of EU trade rules and the association agreement. We expect the same constructive cooperation as with Bulgaria and Romania from other neighboring countries. The European Union is a space for mutual understanding and cooperation. This is how it should be. And one more thing. I would like to thank all our Air Force servicemen, all our anti-aircraft gunners, and servicemen of mobile fire groups who repel Russian missile and drone attacks every day and night. During just one attack against Ukraine last night, the enemy used 33 strike weapons, shads, and missiles. Most of them were launched against Odessa and the region. Most of them were shot down. Unfortunately, not all of them. Unfortunately, there were hits. But 30 targets out of 33 were neutralized. It is important to bear in mind that each neutralized target means saved lives. And we will retaliate against Russia for every strike against our cities and villages, against every Ukrainian community. For Odessa, for Berislav and Kherson, for Donetsk, Kharkiv, and Sumy regions. for all our regions. I thank everyone who rescues people after the occupiers' attacks. I thank everyone in the world who helps us defend Ukraine. Glory to our warriors. Glory to all who work for the sake of the state. Glory to Ukraine.
And that's all from me, friends. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.